Hi everyone, this is a speed build video that was made as a collaboration with KateEmerald. A lot of you probably already know well, she does these amazing builds and very useful tutorials about building in The Sims. Here are a couple of examples of buildings she created. I'm always so impressed with how complex and detailed the Kate buildings are, so in case you haven't seen her videos yet, you should definitely go have a look at her channel. For this collaboration, we built and decorated a off-the-grid house in Sulani. The house is built on multiple floors, but the internal rooms are on a single floor, on the second floor sort of. And there is also a greenhouse on the lot. Kate created the building and worked on the outside area, and I furnished and decorated the inside and some other parts like the greenhouse and the balcony. On her channel you can find her part of the video with the creation of the building. You will be able to find the links and all the information in the description of the video. At the beginning we brainstormed a bit and we decided to make this build with the off-the-grid trait, which is the new lot trait that comes with the Island Living expansion. It's a pretty interesting trait that affects gameplay quite a lot because then electronics, electric items and most of the plumbing items don't work on a lot with this trait. The idea is that the Sims living in the house are into conservationism and nature and, for example, grow their own food in the greenhouse. It's also overall a pretty elegant house with nice furniture and materials. Kate used a very nice combination of stone and wood materials for the outside, and I tried to recreate that for parts of the inside rooms as well. A lot of the wood furniture I used is from the Island Living expansion, and some of the stone elements instead are from the Jungle Adventure game pack. I think those two styles complement each other pretty well. Kate used some decoration from the Jungle Adventure pack for the outside area too, like those stone circles on the floor and the hanging plants. The inside of the house has a bedroom, a bathroom and a living area where I put a living room and kitchen together. The bedroom area is connected to the main room through a corridor, and here there are also a lot of doors that connect the inside with the balconies and the different stairs. If you've seen some of my builds before, you'll know that I usually add quite a lot of clutter everywhere. Here I decorated every room with a good amount of plants and other things, but I tried not to exaggerate with the cluttering because we wanted to keep the house fully playable. So, for example, I didn't fill the floor with items like I sometimes do. To be fair, lately I've been experimenting a bit with some more minimalistic room builds, taking inspiration from design and architecture photos that I've seen online or in magazines. I haven't posted any of those yet, but I probably will in the near future, so I hope that will work out pretty well. Normally I build my rooms in Newcrest or in Sulani lots where the light is pretty bright. But for the experiment, the more minimalistic rooms, I'm using the Forgotten Hollow area, because I've got the impression that the light in the area gives a more realistic look to the screenshots. I'm not sure if it's just an impression, but in any case I've been enjoying experimenting with different light effects in my builds. I was also thinking of making a little tutorial about how to improve light effects in builds. I've seen some people ask me question about how I get a certain type of light in my screenshots, so I might do that at some point. Getting back to the current house, after furnishing the interior rooms, I also decorated the balcony near the corridor, but I kept it tidier than the rest to fit with what Kate had done with the outside area. So on the balcony I just placed a yoga mat, a couch and a few plants and candles. Inside the house, on the walls instead I added paintings, tropical decorations and the hanging plants in the glass jars from the Movie Hangout stuff pack. That is one of my favorite decorative items in the game overall. I use them so much. I also placed shelves in various areas and put plants and candles on them. Only a few items actually can go on top of shelves by default, so sometimes when building I use the 0 and 9 keys on the keyboard to change the height position of an item and place it on the shelf. or other surfaces where it normally wouldn't go. I wish the game came with a wider choice of small plants and other little items that could go on top of shelves, because I like decorating the walls with them. In a lot of my builds I use the show hidden objects sheet to be able to have access to all the little animation items and collectibles that are pretty good for adding clutter. One thing I do often, and I also did for this build, is to place multiple shelves on the kitchen walls and fill them with items such as glasses, cups and other little kitchen objects. By the way, I really love the new shelves that come with Island Living, because they're a bit different than the typical simple shelves we already had in the game, and can fit very well in contemporary builds as well. There are 3 pieces of them that can be placed next to each other in various ways to create different compositions, so they're quite versatile. And they come in different wood shades and also some brighter colors like orange or light blue. They actually remind me of some living room shelves and cupboards that I've seen in furniture catalogs, and I do actually have something quite similar in my living room. As usual, to decorate the house, I've been using the Move Object sheet so that I could place the items freely, but I playtested it to make sure Sims can interact properly with the different items. There is a little issue I noticed though. If a lot or room has been built using the Move Objects cheat and gets uploaded to the gallery, when it is downloaded, some items might disappear. A quick solution for this is to enable the cheat before placing the lot, and then saving the game once you placed it. After that, items should not disappear anymore on that lot, even if you don't have the cheat enabled the other times you play. So if you're planning to download this house, I suggest you enable the cheat before placing it. You can do so by opening the console with Ctrl Shift and C and typing bb.moveObjects and pressing enter. This way everything should show up fine, and you only need to enable the cheat the first time. You don't need to have it on the other times after. By the way, do you like the new expansion pack? I'm enjoying it quite a lot. I think they could have added more activities and skills, or at least made the conservationist career a fully playable profession. But I really love the new world with the sand interactions, being able to go in the water, and of course the mermaids. I normally don't spend too much time in the Create a Sim tool, but I have to say in this case I had quite a bit of fun playing around with the new mermaid features and clothing. By the way, about the sand interactions, I've heard that some of them, like buildings and castles, are also available in other worlds if you place the sand terrain down on the floor. So that's pretty cool. I've seen people using that to create usable sandboxes in playgrounds in the different neighborhoods. That's something I'll have to try. Overall, my favorite thing in the Island Living expansion pack is Sulani. The water and the landscape look great, and they're just a pleasure to look at while playing. The volcano is also very fun. It's a great addition to the world. I still need to try playing in a lot with the volcanic activity trait, but I surely will, because that could be pretty interesting. In my main game, I moved my current Sims to Sulani, made them become conservationists, and used the club function from the Get Together expansion to create a group of Sims that meet up to clean the coast together. It worked surprisingly well, and it was pretty fun. So now my island is all nice and clean. I got the message that there should be turtles showing up. I still haven't seen them, but I'm looking forward to that. Of course, I also love the new furniture that came with the expansion, especially the counters and the wall-mounted shelves. I wish they had maybe added more decorations and interactive items, but the furniture is very good. I started using the counters and shelves in some non-tropical builds as well, because they are very versatile. As I was saying before, one of the main features of this house is the off-the-grid trait. It doesn't allow any items that use electricity, so for the lights I placed a lot of candle, which is something I often like to do in my builds anyway. I find they give the build a nice atmosphere, so I often place a lot of candles on surfaces or even on the floor. I noticed in Play Mode here, some of these candles I placed are not lit at first, and I was worried it was a problem with the off-the-grid trait, but I checked and they can actually be lit by clicking on them. The option is not grayed out. One of the things to know about the off-the-grid trait is that you can still place the items that don't work with it, but the interaction will be grayed out, so your scenes won't be able to use them. There are a few things that I think still need to be fixed about the trait, but maybe they will be fixed in the next patch. For example, there is an issue with the wash tub from Laundry Day, the Laundry Day stuff pack, which is basically a tub filled with water that Sims can use to manually wash their clothes, and after using it, the water gets dirty and needs to be replaced. Now, this wash tub works at first in the off-the-grid lots, but that option to replace the water is grayed out, so after using it the first time it can't be used properly anymore. I think it's just a bug that will get fixed soon though, because I've seen a lot of people pointing that out. The stone sinks I used in the bathroom and kitchen are from the outdoor retreat pack, and it's one of the few types of sinks that work with the off-the-grid trait. The sink that comes with island living also works with it, but I thought the stone one would fit the style of the house better. It goes well with all the other stone decorations outside and inside. I didn't place any stove in the kitchen area inside because there are only two stoves that work off the grid and they didn't really fit the style. One is the very basic one from the base game and the other is the wood burning cook stove, but that one is more suitable for example, a country build. Kate added a grill area outside on the lower floor of the house anyway, and I think it makes sense for Sims to use that area to cook. After furnishing the interior and the balcony, I also decorated a bit near the greenhouse area. I really love the way Kate built the greenhouse, using a combination of roof pieces to create this particular triangle shape, and with the addition of a square of glass roof on top. I think it's very stylish and quite unique. The greenhouse on one side then has this long and thin sort of balcony, and I have fun turning it into a little garden stripe. I use this rich looking grass or seagrass square that comes with island living for the base, and then added various ferns and other plants on top. Inside the greenhouse instead I added some clutter near the wall at the end with a long wooden table and a lot of plants on the table and in the corners. I don't know why, but I always love adding clusters of plants to my builds. Maybe sometimes I overdo it, but I really like it. To finish, I also decorated a bit around the barbecue area, and I think maybe around some other areas of the balconies as well, but I just added a few candles and plants here and there. I didn't want to change it too much because I really like how Kate decorated that area. So this is it for now. I'll leave you with the end of the speed build and a few screenshots of the completed interior. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course a big thank you to KateEmerald for the collab. If you haven't seen the video she made for this build yet, check the details for the link. Have a nice day!